يا ربي لك الحمد الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. We are now on the ninth point, the ninth etiquette, which is a short one, and what we'll take from it today too will be short inshallah. قال المصنف وفقه الله التاسع أعطي الطريق حقه وغض بصرك وكف الأذى ورد السلام وأمر بالمعروف وانهى عن المنكر, which basically means give the way at-tariq, give the way or the path its right, and lower your gaze وكف الأذى, prevent harm, ورد السلام, return salam. If someone gives you salam, return it. وَأْمُرْ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, enjoin good, وَانْهَى عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ, and forbid evil. Now, there are about 5 masail here. Today maybe we take first or second inshallah. The first one, he says, قَوْلُهُ أَعْتِ الطَّرِيقَ حَقَّهُ. The statement of the Imam to give the road or the path its right. He says, وَهَذَا هُوَ الْأَصْلُ الْجَامِعُ فِي أَدَبِهِ وَهُوَ يَنْتَظِمُ فِيهِ مَا ذُكِرَ بَعْدَهُ وَغَيْرُهُ مِمَّا لَمْ يُذْكَرْ. He said, this is the asl. To give the way it's right is the asl. Every other thing that was mentioned, return salam, prevent harm, lower your gaze, enjoin good, forbid evil. All of this is still under giving the tariq its right. And the Imam, he went to explain in a very long explanation. He says that what is known as, right, as far as tariq is concerned, is either something that is from the Sharia or from the culture of the people. And he explained that what is right in a culture, as far as the right of the road is concerned, may not be right in another culture. So a person needs to know what is obtainable in that land to be able to obtain or to be firm on what the right of the road is. So here it says, فَمَا ثَبَتَ أَنَّهُ مِنْ حَقِّ الطَّرِيقِ بِطَرِيقِ الشَّرْعِ أو بِطَرِيقِ الْعُرْفِ لَازِمَ بَذْلُهُ وَالْقِيَامُ بِهِ. Whatever is established in the Sharia to be from the right of the way or what is known from the culture of the people, then it is compulsory or incumbent to implement that in the right of the way. Part of the right of the way is that a person just does not mess the way, for instance, depending on which way. You don't put on the road things that can harm people. You don't put on the road things that can trip people. So this is, the summary of a long explanation that he gave. And he also went further and saying, people who derive rulings from the Sharia should try to make it relevant to what happens in those places. For instance, if you are talking about, very tiny path that people used to pass in those days, it may not be the same way here where you have sidewalks, you have, dedicated walk lanes. So he has a very long explanation saying that whatever ruling people are bringing from the Sunnah, this should be relevant to what people have experiencing in their different locations. So this is the first point. The second point is وَغُضَّ بَصَرَكَ, is to lower your gaze. And this is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also mentioned in the Quran. He says, كُلِّ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّ مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ وَيَحْفَظُوا فُرُوجَهُمْ. He said, tell the believing men to lower their gaze. And he connected it with what? Also protecting our private parts. Because the eyes is what sees. And that is what brings about shahwat and things like that. So if you lower it, especially in this month of Ramadan, it's part of the things you are supposed to do. You go to the store, you see someone, they are dressed, now it's getting warm, people are really dressing, in a very terrible way. As a Muslim, you lower your gaze. The first gaze is for you. The first gaze that you see, you already see is wrong. You don't need to cast a second one. Just, say, or look away or get your mind busy on something else. Because the more you look at it, the more it creates, darkness on your heart. And it reduces from the reward of your fast. So this is number one, to lower the gaze. And now, if you now put it particularly to the road, he says, أن تغض بصرك حابسا له مدنيا له غير مرسل بصرك يمنة أو يسرة فإن هذا فعل مضمون. It says is that you should restrain your gaze, tie it down, let it look down, don't let it be going up and down, left and right. He says because this is something that is despicable, madmoon. It is blameworthy. Now, subhanallah, part of what you see in this part of the world is a person needs to be able to look directly, when they talk to people, for instance, whether it's the male or, opposite gender. Not looking at people directly, they think maybe you don't have confidence or you are shy or you are this and you are that. But we also need to educate them to let them know it's part of our deen that you don't just, stare into people's eyes, especially if they are people of opposite gender. Now, and these are things that we also see in masjid now. A sister will come to you and they're just staring at you like that, right? So as brothers do, even if you may not communicate it directly, the way you do it, the way you put your face away, you still talking to them, they will get the message one way or the other. So this is something, to be observed. I'll give one statement from the people before us and then we'll wrap it up inshallah. وفي كتاب التوابين لابن قدامة أن رجلا دخل على أحد الصالحين. In a book known as Tawabin, written by Al-Imam Ibn Qudama, he says that a man enters upon one of the Salihin, one of the good people, righteous people. فَجَلَسَ إِلَيْهِ, and he sat with him. ثُمَّ رَفَعَ بَصَرَهُ إِلَى سَقْفِ بَيْتِهِ. Then he looked up, he was looking at the ceiling of his house, Like you go to a person's house now, you start looking at everywhere. What do they have in that corner? What do they have? This is not right. So this person, he did not even just look at the roof of the house. فَذَكَرَ لَهُ أَنَّ سَقْفَ الْبَيْتِ يُوشِكُ أَنْ يَسْقُطَ. Ya salam. And he now told the host that, this your roof will Ya salam, will soon fall off. Subhanallah. As a guest, now you become the building inspector, telling the owner of the house that the ceiling of his house will fall off. Now, he says, فَقَالْ, and the host is saying, إِنِّي لَمْ أَرْفَعْ رَأْسِي إِلَيْهِ مِنْ مُدَّةِ كَذَا وَكَذَا. The owner of the house is saying that I have not even looked up to this for many, many years, or for many, many, extended period of time. قال ابن قدامة who wrote this in his book التوابين, he says وكانوا يكرهون أو يكرهون فضول النظر كما يكرهون فضول الكلام. He says that people used to يكرهون, to detest something. They used to detest excessive glancing, excessive looking, excessive, just putting your eyes up and down. The same way they used to detest excessive talk. Some people, they just want to talk. They see you, even though they don't have exactly what they want to say, they just want to, engage you. He says the same way people detest this kind of behavior is the same way they detest just looking around. You're looking at what someone is wearing, how is his socks or how is this is not from what is, encouraged in the sunnah. Inshallah, we're going to stop here. Jazakumu Khairan, barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Maybe he's a contractor. He wants to get business.
So he's making sales.